Hey guys, Ralph here, and welcome to True Power Health Trumpet Fitness. This is going up on all my Rumble accounts and all this sort of stuff, YouTube and all this sort of stuff. And I hope YouTube keeps it up. I don't want to be shut down, but if I am, I am. Now, if YouTube and everything is fair, you'll see that I remain non-political. Now, the reason for this is I had a very, very lucrative relationship with Donald Trump for not quite 5 years, 4+ years, back in the 80s. It began when the Trump Tower was being built. And I can only say in that time, he had been nothing but extremely nice to me. And even nicer to me was his wife, Ivana, at the time. God bless her, rest in peace. My relationship began when the Trump Tower itself was still a construction site. Okay? And his offices at the time were across the street from the Trump Tower site on 57th and 5th Avenue and overlooking the construction site. And he came in, we shook hands, and he is every single thing that you could possibly think. What you see is what you get. That is Trump. But he went on and on about his creation, the eighth wonder of the world, he referred to it. And I had done some research. I went down, didn't have laptops and everything back then, or Google. I went down to the, when I knew I was going to have an audience with him, I went down to the New York Public Library and got out some microfilm, microfiche, whatever they called it, and just scoured over everything that I could possibly find about Donald Trump. And one of the things that he was known for, back then, I'm not sure if it is in construction circles, and he did a paper on this at the Wharton School about the cement-filled column as opposed to the way they did it prior, which was revolutionary at the time in construction circles and became known as the Trump column, big column that supports the whole thing. And I didn't get the ins and outs, but anyway, he's talking about his nonstop about this Trump Tower. You talk about a kid in a candy store, a kid with his little toy. That's all he could talk about. He said, look, see this? And he had models, and this is what's going to happen here. And I just interjected when he paused to take a breath. So you're going to use the Trump column. And he looked at me. He smirked a little bit. He said, you've done your homework. And I got the job right then. And what he was trying to do was advertise. Remember, there was no social media back then. So advertise his creation, the Trump Tower. So when it was still a construction site, back in 1980, might have been 81. And I have pictures of it to this day, that he built a fortress, for lack of a better term, a ledge on the construction site that overlooked the sidewalk of Fifth Avenue. And my brass quintet went out and played Christmas carols. And, La Paris fanfares and Gabrielli were just blasting it out. It was a sensation. Now, he had met me when my brass quintet was at a social function that he was doing, and he loved the group. We were strong as hell, even though we weren't overdoing it at the function itself. Gave me his card, and he says, come and visit me. Come and talk to me tomorrow. Can you do about 11 o'clock? I said, sure. And one of the first things he said to me, we shook hands, he says, so how loud can you guys play? He says, because I'm not putting up, he said, don't, I said, I was studying with Jerry, don't worry about loud. Don't worry about loud. And we got out there, and it was an absolute sensation. Sensation. We're literally a whole article in the New York Magazine, front page of the New York Post, back page of the New York Post. It was billed, and we played on Good Morning America, the Today Show. We just got so much publicity and so much bank. Oh, so much bank, man. I made money, and we actually gave him a Christmas present each year. I mean, we weren't buddies by any means, but whenever I would play a function of his, he would always call me over when he's talking to people and introduce me to somebody who was having a party. Ralph would take care of it. Ralph's good. And I swear back in the office when he's talking about the Trump Tower, eighth wonder of the world, I swear to God, it's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. I mean, bigger than life. I mean, he would introduce me to Mayor Koch. He would introduce me to his lawyer, Roy Cohn. I mean, forget it. And I was working for them. And every single society party in the city wanted the Trump Tower Trumpeteers. That's how we were billed on the Today Show and all this sort of stuff. And the bank I made. Now, the bank I made, Jerry took the majority of the money and opened a mutual fund for me. I didn't know what the hell was going on. But over the years, when I started feeding it with my teaching money and all that sort of stuff, guys, I'm not Trump rich, but I'm very, very well off. The fact that I can retire early and do videos for the rest of my life and not sweat a bit, that I can cut a check for $220,000 and send it to Penn State, my daughter's. That came from Jerry. But the seed money, 100%, was Trump money that started the whole thing. Trump literally sent my daughter to college. Now, it wasn't only just bank and notoriety and all this sort of stuff. Guys, I would come home from playing a gig, and my machine at the time was lit up with some of the top trumpet players in the world. Now, I'm not going to name names, okay? I don't do that. Top players in the world that wanted to get on my sub list for these Trump Tower gigs and all my society gigs. Why? For the most part, because the Trump Tower gigs were during the day. So around Christmas time, in the holidays, they could, top players, show off, wanted to make $500 a day during the day before they went and did their night job. And back then, that was some coin. That was some bank. Do a couple of those, man, and you've got your Christmas presents paid for. And this went on. Now this morphed into, again, I started booking dates all over the place, and very often, my group would be, coming out of his plaza back when he owned it. Does he still? I don't think he owns it. And he's, well, hey Ralph, how you doing? Shake hands. Now right now, if I walked into the old log, well, whatever, and I'd probably have to explain myself. He has a great memory. I'd probably have to say, oh, Ralph, how you doing? Man, you guys were loud. That's what he would say. How loud are you guys? Oh, don't worry. Now, I can't put up a sound system. I said, don't worry about it. And that's another thing. We were situated at such a place that we were pointing down. We were 57th Street, right near Central Park on Fifth Avenue. We were pointed, for the most part, downtown. And the way that sound carried among the skyscrapers and all the concrete and everything, guys, you could hear us 15, 20 blocks away. Jerry came out of his studio on 46th Street and walked up Fifth Avenue with Claudio Ruditi and a couple of the other guys. They could literally hear us over on 6th Avenue, 10, 15 blocks away. Guys, and not only that, we had so much fun. We had so much fun. But top guys were throwing me Broadway dates. Now, I was into Broadway before that. Drip here, drip there. All of a sudden, the Avalons, because once again, if they could get something in the afternoon and some nice change, Yeah, they throw me a date down. It was wonderful for my career. And the amazing thing is, everybody loved him. Society loved him, but not only the rappers loved him. Snoop Dogg, Tupac, Jay-Z, he was the epitome of capitalism. That's what all these rappers wanted. Trump stacks, they used to call it. Trump stacks of cash. That they could do whatever they wanted, and I don't want to get political here, and just make the money because they had Trump power. They rapped about it. Don't take my word for it. Go check it out. I would put raps down below, but I'm not going to do that. Snoop Dogg loved him. And all of a sudden he runs for president, and then all of a sudden, well, we don't like him anymore. Anyway, Trump and me. Whatever happened yesterday at the trial, I think I'm going to just dip my toe into the politics for a minute. Just dip my toe in and hear me out. YouTube and everybody out, hear me out. Whether you are Democrat, Republican, far left, independent, Tea Party, whatever. What happened yesterday was a sad day. And I'm not saying who's right. I'm not saying who's wrong. I'm not saying that this is that, the other thing, or, weaponizing the deal. I'm not saying that. Whatever happened, if this is what it's come to, it's a sad day. Along with all his buildings and everything, his philanthropy is off the charts. Hillary Clinton, every single one of those, Ted Cruz, every Biden, they all were in his office with their hand out. Both Clintons, there's plenty of pictures of Clinton and Trump, both of them, with their hand out. They were good friends, as long as he's giving them green. Everybody made green with Trump. Sad day. Anyway, enough said. We'll talk about something more topical to my channels later. Love you all. And Donald Trump, whatever happens, whatever you did, whatever you didn't do, whatever you're being construed of and you didn't do it, man, I had a blast. You put your seed money, put my daughter through college. Your seed money allowed me to retire way earlier than I ever would have thought possible. And I go to every single one of my videos. Life's good, baby. Life's good. And Donald Trump, I'm here to say, you had a lot to do with that. All right? All right. Love you all. And guys, don't troll. This is not political. I don't care what you think about Trump. I don't. This is my video. That's what I think about Trump. Blah, blah, blah. All right? All right. Love you all.